Hello, my podcast people, and thank you for joining me for yet another episode of my favorite podcast. Happy March. If you're listening, tuning in, watching on the day that it drops, it is Monday, March 3rd. Where the fuck did February go? If you're watching, you see I got different glasses on. I'm in my dad era, I think. I have another pair coming in. They're a little bit smaller, but I actually really like these because I can see everything. There's no blind spots. And I'm just like, this is nice. So let's do a little life updates and then we'll hop into the episode. Today we're talking about inconvenience and we're talking about the consequences of convenience. But before that, a few life updates. Number one, I finished the Parable series. I'll call them the Parable series books from Octavia Butler. That's Parable of the Sower, Parable of the Talents. 15 out of 10 recommend. They're long as fuck. I listen to them. I don't really like to read the book. It's just easier because I can be doing other things, usually cleaning the house, which we're going to talk about later. But 15 out of 10 recommend. 15 out of 10 recommend. This next update, I have to whisper because Lex is in the next room. But I'm taking her on a surprise trip to Santa Barbara for her birthday. When this drops, when you're listening, watching, we will have already gone. We'll be coming back home on Monday. But I will let you know how that goes. I'm big excited about it. But I went through Verbo, VRBO, because fuck Airbnb. That owner, that guy, he's doing too much. And the lady seems so nice. I will report back, but she seems so nice. And I will say, this ties into the episode and just where I've been feeling in general. Representation matters. We all fucking know this, but I'm going to say it. Representation matters. Diversity fucking matters. I actually wrote this to her. I didn't say diversity fucking matters, but I wrote this to her. And when I was looking at the pictures, there's a bunch of people in the pictures of the place. And they all look different. There's like, older people, younger people, clearly gay people, just black people. And it was great. And I wrote to her and said, thank you. All right, traveling for me it's not a willy-nilly thing. And I think there's plenty of you listening to this that think the same, but I will just elucidate my experience, which is first I got to think about where I'm going and is it safe for gay people? How do they feel about gay people? And then I got to think about how they feel about black people. And then I got to think about how they feel about interracial couples. And then I got to think about the safety of two women, So even a step before that, something as simple as like what my picture was on the profile for Airbnb. I absolutely thought about that in past years, and like having someone else book things. Like, yeah, these are all. I know this is reality of living in the United States, and we can fucking do better. But this lady passed the test with flying colors, and I wrote her to say thank you about that. And the conversation back and forth, she was just great. So I'll report back. But I'm excited to surprise Lex. There's a hot tub and a pool, probably be too cold for the pool, but hot tub and an ocean view, and I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, so I can speak louder now. The weather's been nice in LA. I've been playing volleyball. Body's holding up. We moved up classes to Saturdays, which has been fucking great. I'm doing work outside more. I actually outlined this episode, sitting outside, just taking advantage of living in LA, living in a warm place, and using that to fill my cup and re-energize me in between the things. Because besides that, I am having a really hard time doing much of anything besides trying to understand and learn more about everything and being very in everything that is going on right now. And I said I'm having a hard time perhaps for effect, but I'm not over here struggling by any means. I'm very much just like, this is all that my brain wants to do, and I'm not going to run from it. I don't know where you are at with things, how you feel about things. This is a very, unidirectional platform, though I always welcome. Message me. If you leave a message on YouTube, I'm not going to lie, it takes me a very long time to get back. So I'm sorry. If you want to have a conversation, DM me on Instagram. I will get back to you in 5 seconds. But I don't know how you're feeling about things. But as it relates to this episode, if you are feeling like, fuck, this is annoying and inconvenient and I just want to live my life, you're right. I feel that. I hear you. I commiserate. I empathize. my brain is very much stuck on reading all the things, consuming the things, trying to understand the things, trying to connect the dots with things, and trying to provide myself with a sense of certainty. Calmness is probably a better word, but either way, that's where I'm at, just all the time. Maybe your brain is not doing that. I am not here to judge. For those of you that do feel like that, you are not alone. Please, by all means, reach out to me, because then I feel less alone. But I am here with this episode to encourage those of you who are feeling like, fuck, this is inconvenient and it's annoying. I'm encouraging you to keep going. I believe that right now we are truly being asked to take responsibility for our happiness. We're being asked to take responsibility for our well-being, for our health, for our relationships, for everything. And it feels fucking annoying. It feels inconvenient. Like, yeah, I just want to sit outside and like be on my back balcony and like just be yelling at Rupert to not jump over the edge. Like, I'd rather be doing that. Yes, absolutely. I think that we have gotten really used to and accustomed to outsourcing a lot of things in life. We really champion it, right? Decision making, dealing with the impact of our actions, conveniences, upholding of rights. We've outsourced it. And I have no judgment with that statement. I just think it's a fact. And now we're being asked to think about all of these things, to defend these things, to understand these things. And it's just like, fuck, man. I just want to chill and watch Love is Blind. I want to chill and go snowshoeing and listening to the silence. I just want to run my business and serve my customers. I get it. But right now, we are seeing just how truly, truly connected and intertwined we are with everyone else on this planet. And it feels inconvenient. And I'm not here to throw any shade. I'm here to say I'm right there with you. The flip side of this is understanding, recognizing, digging into the fact that convenience has consequences. An escalator, they only exist in certain locations. There's the danger factor. My guy, Steven, he just actually cut his hand open. Less exercise by taking them. There's a single speed. You're just going. Sometimes you're stuck there. A manual transmission on a car. Have y'all ever seen the inside of an automatic transmission? Jesus Christ. Whoever been, that's brilliant. The consequence of it is that the repairs are expensive. More things can go wrong. Cell phones, smartphones, they're fucking great. They're so convenient. And also, we are always available, which means we're never fully present. Technology in and of itself, fucking amazing, has created so much convenience. Something like DoorDash and just being able to look things up right from you. You don't have to go to the library or anything like that. Run your business right from home. It creates isolation. You don't have to leave your house for shit. You don't have to interact with people. You don't have to leave your bed to have an audience. Convenience has consequences. Same day shipping. What's the consequence of that? Well, we've created billionaires. And we also probably have a bunch of shit that we don't need. So the action items, right? Because you already know, I'm never here to just complain. I will commiserate with you. Like, it feels inconvenient now, right? And we're like, fuck. But we're being faced with the consequences of convenience, and now we can do something about it. So for me, what I'm doing is, as a start, leaning into that inconvenience. And when I was outlining this, and I brought this up in past episodes, that Lex and I, one weekend of the month, we clean the house. We have a big place, right? It's basically 2,500 square feet. It's big. It's a lot to clean. And there's temptation to be like, outsource it. But I don't mind. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. And I do love the outcome. And there is something about it that makes me appreciate all that we have. It makes me take care of it more. And this is just for me. I'm not putting this on you. I'm not saying you have to go clean your house. I'm just giving examples in my own personal life. So leaning into that inconvenience, I am actually trying to avoid Amazon at all. I haven't ordered anything. For those of you listening that maybe you're like, yeah, I'm trying to do that too, or maybe I would do that. A start is, do you really need that same day shipping? And I get that if you don't live like where I live in busy places, and that may not be a thing, but like literally in LA, like I can get things this afternoon. Right? It's insane. It's insane. But I'm trying to avoid it. I haven't had to use it, and Yes, it means I have to like go somewhere and like, there's an inconvenience factor. Sometimes I'm like, I don't actually fucking need that thing. I'm trying to find salt. I will say that's been annoying. This diamond kosher salt, don't fucking have it anywhere. They have it on Amazon. They don't have it anywhere. So going to search for that. But I'm leaning into the inconvenience. I think there's something valuable. There's just something incredibly valuable to what we perceive as inconvenient because we have been afforded so many conveniences, and the value of doing things that we may not see at first, but in not doing them, it's come at a cost, and there's been consequences. All right, so, back to some more action items. Whatever you are doing in this fucking time to build a world that you want to live in, keep doing it. I believe in you. I want to start off with that. And just the whole episode is about like, yeah, it feels inconvenient. It feels like fuck. Or maybe for you, you're like, I love doing it. Great. But if any part of you is just like, I can't believe we have to fucking do this. I can't believe we have to fight for this. I hear you. I fucking hear you. And whatever you're doing, thank you for doing it. Keep doing it. If you're not doing anything at all, you're not doing anything to build a world that you want to live in, you're not doing anything, maybe perhaps consider starting. All right, what that looks like, I cannot say. It's got to matter to you. I've been talking about this in episodes. It's got to matter to you. Hopefully you listened to last week's episode with Dr. J-Pop. She talked about pressing pause, right? Stopping and identifying your own values, what matters to you, and starting there. Which brings us to another point. Be mindful of what I'm going to call not like that-ism, which is understanding the fact that different things are important to different people. And if we are like, you only care about me if you do it and you fight in X way and you do it in this exact, for X thing, you do it in this exact way, that's less than ideal. I definitely don't I definitely don't go to social media with that take. I'm just like, if you don't do it this way, you don't believe in this. There is nuance with everything, and it's best, in my opinion, handled via discussion. Absolutely call out fascism, absolutely call out fucking being a fucking Nazi. But when people are showing up and they're trying to combat these things, be mindful of not like that-ism. Again, my answer will always be curiosity and conversation. I take time. This is inconvenient. It's fucking inconvenient. Take time to have conversations with people and get curious. Right? It's likely not going to be convenient, and it may not be pleasant. Of note, get comfortable with the uncomfortable. Be okay with the discomfort. Be okay with difference. It is okay if people disagree with you. It is okay. It is okay if people are upset with you. Let them have their experience. Let them have their emotions. It's convenient to avoid discomfort. But at what consequence? What's the consequence? What's the cost? Right? I say this about, it could be uncomfortable. People could disagree. I say this to manage expectations. But I also want to remind you that it's very difficult to be like legit shower mad with somebody in person. Right? Like you have all the fucking answers and you fucking mad in the shower by yourself, and then you see them and you're like, well, the same holds true for them. Right? I can't speak to social media because there's like a fucking barrier between, and those are not the conversations I'm telling you to go have. Something to think about is having conversations in person. It's inconvenient, I get it, but oftentimes thinking about the thing, thinking about the conversation is far worse than the actual experience. We've seen this across the board, right? In many things. Ideally, I'm going to reference last week's episode with Dr. J-Pop. Ideally, before you're doing all this stuff, you have taken time to sit with yourself and identify your values, your biases, and unpack your shit. And then you can have these conversations that are founded in curiosity. Again, my resources: Laura Jean, she's Dietitian Values; James Olivia Chu Hillman, they are inquisitive_human. We will link the episodes and their social handles and things like that. Thank you, Courtney. But the conversations, there's value in that. We can have nuance. founded in curiosity. The reality is that there are 11 billion things that you could care about right now. There is intentional overwhelm being sown here, but not by me, but by the powers that be. It's intentional, right? To keep people like, and the flip side of that is that, or the continuation of that is that it feels pretty fucking inconvenient. Because you're like, I can't care about all the things, and like, I just want to like fucking just relax. I get it. Keep going. Do it anyway. We are being tasked with being responsible for our health and our happiness and our safety and our well-being and our understanding of the interconnected nature of our species. Start small. Start simple. Understand that every single action does count. I know that a bunch of you listening to this, watching this, you're healthcare providers, you're PTs, you're movement specialists, movement providers. You tell your clients this. Someone that's trying to lose weight, eating one less fry counts. It matters. It makes a difference. There's a ripple effect. Suddenly you eat one less fry and you're like, you know what? I could maybe have 2 next time. I could do something else that maybe feels inconvenient or difficult. It all matters. I watch as people don't practice what they preach. And they're like, nothing's going to matter then. I can't fucking overhaul everything. I can't make the biggest difference. I can't, cause the tsunami of change. So I'm not going to do anything. Come on. Don't be that person. Do not be that person. Don't be that client that you don't like having. Right? Start small. Start simple. Every action does count. Every action does make a difference. Share the post. Speak up. Have the conversation. Read about the topic. Maybe that's what you have to do. You have to go educate yourself. Call your reps. Say hi to your neighbor. Go to the town hall meeting. Donate money. Donate your time. Anything. Which one? Again, literally anything. Start with what matters to you. And please stop hiding behind worrying about getting it wrong. Take action. Do something. Get started. Keep going. I know it feels inconvenient. Do it anyway. All right, that's all I got for you. Looking at this time, looking at my notes, that's all that I got. Loving this background today. We got the blue lights going, got a whole blue hue. We'll see how it ends up and looks in post-production. But as always, super, super grateful that you tune in, you listen to me. You want to chat, you know where to find me, shoot me a DM. Would love to hear from you. I know it feels inconvenient. All the things. Do it anyway. All right. Until next time, friends. Maestro out.